This is Pierre Woods, and this is Mars versus Venus, and on Hostal TV. Check it out.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another episode of Mars versus Venus. I am your host with the most, What's in Store with T. Moore, and boy, do we have a doozy of a show for you today. Fantastic show topics, awesome questions, and a phenomenal cast of characters. The co-hosts, let's start the introduction, shall we?
Voice of Reason.
Natasha.
I tell you, we got a doozy of one today. How's your week been going so far?
Good. Mine's been good. Except this weather.
I'll tell you, it's been bitter cold, bone-chilling cold.
Snowplow been good though, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that side hustle. Gotta get that, gotta get the moolah.
Yes, sir.
I know we were talking off air about a certain scenario or maybe a certain situation that the voice of reason needs to address.
Yeah, man. You know what I was thinking about? Just I'm dealing with male and female, and we're in regards to children and parenting, man. Everybody's been young, everybody's done stuff, and you look at it, man. When it comes to the situation of children being born from people that's not married or per se together, you look at it as later on in life, man. As the children grow up and you're still not together, you may have a significant other or a spouse at that time, but you look at it, man. When it comes to the situation of finding out the parent, father, or father of that child, because 9 times out of 10, the child is going to live with the mother. But trying to find out the father of that child, man, you need to take into consideration. This is for everybody that may have went through that situation, maybe going through that situation, or may be going, maybe get into a situation like that in the future. You need to be mindful of the child's best interest, as far as finding out who the biological parents is, about finding out the roles. Which each other plays, and what's best for the child. Because in the end, besides attitudes, having issue with somebody, the child is the one who suffers in the end. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And as that child grows older, it begins to develop resentment and no remorse for that parent or the biological parent or whoever might be involved in that situation. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to stuff like that, man, I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe some of our viewers, some of the fans can actually have an input and jot some stuff down, man, for we can look into maybe even a later show or a later date,
That's a great point. I agree wholeheartedly with that. And at the end of the day, it's all about that child.
Yes.
Especially if you have, if you're in a situation where you have other kids. You definitely want to know if this child is yours. That way they can know if they have a brother or a sister, mm-hmm. or something to that effect. You got anything you want to touch on?
No. I just think that it's wrong to keep that person in the dark. It's not fair to the child, the other siblings, and as well as that person. I mean, that's, especially if you're a stand-up person and you take care of your children that you already have, and you don't know that this child exists, and then you find out later on, then, that took away from you being a father. And really, if that other person that was taking care of them wasn't the father that they should have been or could have been, mm-hmm. It took away from them knowing who they are.
Great point.
Because, especially if there's, medical conditions involved or things like that, you could be that person that could help with that aspect as well.
This is true.
Because I had a child like that, but my son knows who his dad is, but he's just not involved at all.
Okay.
So, he could have had that, but he just chose not to.
Yeah.
So to take that from somebody that wants to be there, it's not right. It's just not right.
Great point. You got anything else?
Natasha, I'm sorry. It's just when you got pregnant, I didn't know what to do.
When you were young, I just, I'm scared. Young, teenage. What can you do?
That is hilarious. Okay, we gonna jump into the show. We gonna fire off with this question, man. Name something besides cheating that ruins a relationship.
I would say lack of communication. Because if you're not communicating with each other, and then you have your everyday life, you lose who each other are.
Man, to me, man, cheating is so broad though. Like even if you're not communicating, 9 times out of 10, you're probably cheating because you're talking to somebody.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you down low, you're talking to a dude, and if you straight, you're talking to another female.
True.
So, man, I think they can ruin a relationship. I don't know, man. Number one would be cheating. I can't think of nothing else.
Mine will probably be crack. A person that lies all the time.
Right? That too. Yes.
But that person that's lying is probably cheating. So.
Oh,
right.
A thief.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Somebody who you pretty much just can't trust at all.
You're like, so you heard?
Those things is just, they just know you cannot do those things. For me.
That's true.
Honesty
is real good, man. That's
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can't trust you, then we have nothing.
And I don't know about everybody else, but I know I've had an issue with that before, and partly because maybe bad relationships in the past, or maybe just you having issues in the first place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And man, that honesty, you'll mess up a relationship, man, and possibly mess out on a good person.
True indeed.
Yeah.
Anything you got?
No, I've stopped talking to somebody for lying.
She lies all the time.
She lied right now.
I'm lying right now.
Stop talking to somebody.
I did. Because they lied about their last name. Who does that? If you lie about your last name, you lie about anything.
No, he wanted.
I mean,
he wanted about somebody, child support, the
right?
kids,
But I'm just saying exactly. You lie about
was
anything.
That's
no. I know all my cousins. I know my daddy.
Here's another one. Can a lack of sex make someone cranky?
Yeah.
How so?
Because it's a good way to get rid of your everyday frustration, stress. It's a good stress reliever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And not having a healthy sex life, it will make somebody cranky.
Wowzers!
It will.
I'll tell you. What you got on there?
I'll let the freak answer that. I'm still a Virginia.
Virginia?
Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he denied our baby.
Wow.
Hey.
Y'all can put that out there on TV like that?
I mean, I know, but I was trying to hide it. That's cool.
Okay. Nothing that's... You ever get cranky at all when, you've been going in drought season?
I get cranky because I want to experience it one day.
Okay. I definitely understand. Understood. Now, here's another one. How do you tell your man or your lady that they're not pleasing you anymore? Just say it just went from sugar to wonk, wonk. It was fireworks in the beginning.
Why are you looking at me?
Fireworks in the beginning. Explosive. 4th of July. And then,
I know what Matasha's mate said. You know what he said?
What?
No company.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly how you got to say it.
That's what you got?
No, I will flat out tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I am very honest, and I have gotten in trouble for my honesty, but I have to be honest with you. If I can't be honest with you about that, then I can't be honest with you about anything. I can't.
True.
I mean, that's our openness in our relationship. Mm-hmm. If it's lacking, you just got to sit them down and be like, look, it's we used to have things like this, and it's not like that no more. Why? What's wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Or is something going on with you that it's just you don't feel it no more? You're going through midlife crisis. I mean, what? Yeah. Something is wrong. Something is lacking, and you got to find out why. And if you're not honest about it, and with men, you have to be brutally honest, because if you talk a circle, they don't understand.
It's true.
If you're not honest, they're like, well, you didn't say that. Just say what you mean. Just say it, And then when you say it, then they're like, oh, okay.
Let me tell you one thing about us. I'm going to drop some jewels for you today, people. We like just simple. Yeah. Simple, plain, straightforward. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not go down the street to come back up the street. Tell me exactly what it is. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's on your mind. Let's come to a conclusion. period. What you got, Adrian?
Yeah, I believe that too, man, because the reality is it gets to a point where somebody might have just been putting on a game face for real. You know what I mean? That might not have been the person that you met and had a good time with and possibly even started to care about or fall in love with. May not be that true person. You know what I mean? So that's what it comes to.
Here's an anonymous question that a lady had posted. Okay. She was doing her and her man's laundry, and the other day found a condom in his pants. The question is, should she confront him or should she just break up with him? That's it's a deep one.
Man, to be honest, I think she should confront him. For the simple fact, you could break up with him, but you still should know the reason why. Because the reality is, man, you never know what the situation might be.
Right.
You never know what it might be. So you really need to find out why. I think.
I'll give you a scenario or a situation that happened with me. I had a conversion van, and me and my partners used to
shagging way.
It was it was real nice with the televisions and whatnot. And my cousin and my brother and them was using the van and whatnot. And then I took me and my lady out the next day, but she found
right,
the package in the car and thought it was mine. I was like, this is not mine. I actually didn't know whose this was. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is not mine. I'm telling the truth.
Right.
I had to make some phone calls because she wasn't having that. And we had to come down to the bottom of it, and it just so happened to be my cousins, and he was doing the do.
Right.
In my conversion, man.
I'm not talking about the beverage.
Yeah, this is true. But you got anything about that?
He changes his pants every day, hopefully.
I would hope so.
So if you have a condom in your pants and you're in a committed relationship and you don't use them, he is cheating. Or he's thinking of cheating. There's no other excuse. There's you take it out of one pair of pants and you put it in another pair of pants. You're not holding it for your friend. You ain't high school.
Man, there's a bunch of different scenarios.
No, there can't. There's
at least one.
Okay, what?
Okay, say y'all are on rough terms. Okay, and you think he's gonna leave you. Okay, now what if you get that notion like, well, I'm gonna have a keeper, baby.
Oh.
What about that?
But I'm just saying, then you would have been using them for the last couple weeks or the last time.
If y'all was on bad terms, you might not even done nothing. He might just had it for just in case.
If you're on bad terms, why would you have sex anyway?
To get out stress, duh. Isn't that what you just said?
But not if we're on bad terms.
Hold that thought, Matasha and Adrian. When we come back after break, we have a special guest joining us by the name of Mr. Pierre Woods, former NFL linebacker for the New England Patriots, as well as the Buffalo Bills. He will be joining us after the break, after the second half. Get it? Come on back. You are tuned in to Mars versus Venus. See you in 2 and 2.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
When I give you the signal, you two cut left to the flag. I'm gonna cover you from that tree over there. Remember, don't go for the flag unless you know the coast is clear, okay?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome back. This is Mars versus Venus. I am your host with the most, What's in Store with T. Moore, and we have a very special guest joining the set, Mr. Pierre Woods, former Glenville Tar Blooder, former Michigan Wolverine, former New England Patriots linebacker, and Buffalo Bills linebacker. How we doing today?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I tell you, it's a doozy, man. We're glad to have you.
It's a doozy.
Yeah, glad to have you on set. Want to talk a little bit about, your journey at Glenville and some of these guys that you played with at Glenville. Ted Ginn Jr., Troy Smith, Dante Whitner. The Browns need all those guys, along with yourself there, buddy.
Yeah,
Like right now.
that would be nice if they did that. But
I'm telling you.
as you can see, Ray Furman lost his job because he wouldn't bring in Ted. Troy still can play. I know he has a passion for the game. I have a passion for the game, but they doing what they do, man. They got Hugh Jackson now, so congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. A minority, coach, so
Yeah.
it's huge.
How was that learning up under Ginn Sr.? How was that education
Coach,
and just
listen, Coach
leadership?
Ginn was a hard-nosed, tight. I mean, like, he used to call me almost every other night, my junior, my senior year. You got to get these dudes together. I'm telling you. If you don't get them together, I'm going to mess you up. So I was just like, now I go back and I watch them go with these kids, and he's like, man, they just ain't built like y'all. They can't take it. They can't take the stuff that you used to go through. So, I mean, these kids now, it's just like, you want them to do good. You want them to be okay, stay out the streets. It's a lot of kids that came from Ginn Academy Coach and also Glenville that's getting killed, man. So it's a scary situation right now. Very scary.
like the era that we came up in, and as far as the era that's going on right now, do you think society is making these kids soft?
Very soft. I believe in spraying the rod. Like my mother, she whooped us. We came up in the projects. So I remember getting in trouble in elementary, and a lady named Miss McQueen whooped me at the school. Then she was like, you go to Miss Murphy's house. Miss Murphy whooped me. I had to go back to Miss McQueen's house before I got all the way home. Then she was like, go to Miss Duncan. Miss Duncan whooped me. And then I had to go home. My mother was like, okay, Miss White wants some too, so go next door. So I got, I ain't like whooping. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm not getting in trouble no more.
Right. They make you straighten up.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
but you can't. You whoop these kids. First thing they say, well, I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna do this. Well,
Right.
I told a lady. She was like, you ain't gonna whoop your daughter in here. I said, lady, listen, that's my baby. I made sure she got food on the table, roof over her head, clothes on her back. I'm whooping her, and that's what I did. I whooped my baby.
Yeah, I understand it. Now, here's something I wanted to ask, and I know the people out here in TV land wants to know this too. Ted Ginn Jr., Troy Smith,
Right.
and Dante.
Ohio State.
They all chose Ohio State. So what made you go to that school right there?
That block M. And that number 99.
What made you choose that school up north?
Man, being from the inner city, honestly, always, I would go down to Ohio State, loved Ohio State, I did, But the guy that was recruiting me, I never forget, we was down there for a basketball tournament, me, my boy, I played for the Cleveland Top Prospects, my boy Jawad, and the basketball coaches wanted him real bad before he went to North Carolina. So
Jawad Williams.
Jawad Williams.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
so
about.
they took us in to the meeting, and Cooper was at the head of the table, and all the coaches were there. And a guy named Tim Salem was like, hey, you guys got to get out of here. I don't know if he was playing or for real.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks later, he come up to Glenville, and I see him. I said, you guys got to get out of here. He was like, oh, what the, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I didn't know it was you. I said, how can you recruit somebody who don't even know who they are?
Right.
But I was down there playing basketball,
Okay, yeah.
So after that, the dude was writing me love letters. But also, he was.
Okay.
But at the same time, though, being from the inner city, I didn't want to go to a city school. I could have went to Georgia Tech, which is right across the street from downtown Atlanta.
Right.
Could have went to Ohio State. Could have went to Miami. Could have went to all these different schools. But I chose Michigan. When I went up there, it was nice and quiet. It was peace and quiet.
Right.
And at the time, I think we moved from off 105 and moved down to Garden Valley Projects.
Oh, yeah.
So being on Kinsman, you hear gunshots,
Every
you hear
night.
people yelling, you hear the ambulance, you hear the sirens, everything all the time. Only time I wanted that to be like that was on the 4th of July when I, blow stuff up. But it was every single day. So it was like, you know what? I just want some type of serenity, some peace and quiet. And when I went up to Michigan, that's what it was. And I chose that school, and it was the best decision I ever made.
I thought about that, and I think about like when you go to those certain schools that's kind of like off from the inner city. I think it allows you to focus in and hone in more on your skills, on the things that you need to do, and you don't have really like that direct access to.
Well, think about this. A lot of kids that go to Ohio State from the inner city, you know, a lot of people from the inner city, from Cleveland, come down to Columbus.
True,
and that's a lot of distraction. Then nobody want to come up to Michigan because it was Michigan. They hated Michigan.
True indeed.
So then nobody really was like, man, I'm coming up to a game. So what I would do is, if I gave you a ticket, I would go to will call after the game and go see if you got your ticket or not. If you came to the game. If I didn't see you after the game, then I know either you came or you didn't.
Right.
So if you didn't come, the next time you asked for a ticket, I was like, man, nah, I'm all right, you know.
Right.
Because I know you're not gonna show.
Right.
So.
You guys got anything you want to touch on? Now, you also played in the first ever U.S. Army All-American Bowl game.
Before it was a U.S. Army game, it was just a All-American football game. Me, Dustin Fox, Marlon Jackson. I'm just thinking about guys that I can name off that I played with.
Dustin Fox also does radio for the fan,
92.3. Kevin Jones, Trey X's, Brent Bazinet, thinking about Big Ten guys.
Okay.
Michael Clayton, who went to LSU, Marquise Hill, a lot of guys, we played in the first one. And it was like they were supposed to have guys come back that were alumni. And a guy called me one year, man, come back. And then he was like, I got some other guys to come, so you don't have to come. And then after that, he lost contact with me, I guess. So I don't worry about it. I know I played in the first one, so, as a trendsetter and things like that, I feel comfortable with that.
How was that experience?
It was great, man. I got the chance to meet Herman Boone, Coach Boone.
Yeah.
He came down, had a big old Texas hat on, cowboy hat. He was real cool, though. He was real cool, laid back, and I enjoyed it, man. I really did. It was a great experience playing against the best in the country. And got a chance to play him again in college, some of the guys. So it was a good time.
Now I want to talk about just your passion, your will to overcome, and just hurdle obstacles. In 2006, you went undrafted.
Right.
You could have just threw your hands and said, "Forget about this. I'm not, whatever," because you were highly talented coming out of Michigan.
Right.
So talk to us about that journey and not giving up on yourself and still believing in your dream.
Well, it's kind of funny because my last year at Michigan, I only had 2 independent study classes, and I wrote my papers in the first week of school. I was done. I was working. And I was also watching film. So I was just studying film, and I was just like in there all the time. And I'll tell the coach, well, this is what's going to happen. This, and they you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, fine. But it was a gift and a curse. The gift was they kept me healthy. The curse was I didn't play. Now, if Ryan English was a defensive coordinator, I would have played. I would have got drafted high probably because, just the way he would have played me as a defensive end outside linebacker.
Right.
But that last year was difficult because 1 minute I was a defensive end, the next minute I was an outside linebacker. Now I'm an unselfish guy, so I felt like if you tired, come out the game.
Right.
Why hurt the team over your selfishness, So some guys are just selfish, and then some guys got hurt, and when they did, I had the opportunity to play. When I went out there, I played well, I did my job. And then at our pro day, because I didn't get invited to the combine or nothing like that, I just did 3 positions. I did D-line, then I went to tight end, which people don't know because we only had 1 tight end coming out that year, Tim Massaquoi.
Right.
So I worked, he'll run a route, I run the exact same route he ran, caught the ball well. Then after that, I went and did the linebacker drills.
Right.
And the Cincinnati Bengals, the head coach and their whole staff was there. They ran it, and then they came back and did another personal workout because they liked Gabe Watson, who was there with us. And dude didn't even want to show up. I was like, man, are you serious?
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't show up for
a personal workout. So I went. I just, and during that time, when we were doing it, I didn't drink any water at all. I mean, I just went because I knew what I can do. You know? So I just wanted to show them and prove to people that, what, you were wrong about not putting me on the field. So, it was a gift and a curse.
That had to show him something too, for not to take no water breaks. They said that young man was focused right there.
Man, I didn't want no water. I mean, at Glenville, our basketball coach always called me a camel.
Okay.
You ain't no tar blooded, you a camel. Yeah, you ain't no tar blooded, you a camel. You got to run.
Right.
So if you don't mind, it don't matter.
Right.
That's how I always looked at it.
And my motto is, and I say this all the time, every situation is mind over matter.
Right.
every situation.
Right.
How was it when you got that first call? When you got that phone call from the NFL saying, we want you, come on out. Man, how was that feeling?
It was an excellent feeling, but it was crazy because the defensive coordinator who was at Michigan at the time, he had just went to the Jets, Jim Herman. And he was like, Pierre, we'll have you come to New York. We'll give you $2,500. I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, New York, $2,500.
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts, $7,500.
Right.
Coach, you dicked me once, you will never dick me twice. What do you mean, Pierre? I never steered you wrong.
Right.
I said, Coach, you didn't even want me to play at the University of Michigan when you was just here.
Right.
He was like, what? I said, yes. I said, now you're in the lead, I'm in the lead, I can say how I feel.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying? When
right.
I was in school, you got to be politically correct and you can't say what you want to say.
Right.
But now, you gone, I'm about to get ready to leave.
Right.
You dick me once, you'll never dick me twice.
Uh-huh.
And that's just how I felt. And I mean, we still got a good relationship. I always hit him up on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day,
Right.
Coach Herman. How you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
mutual
no ill
respect.
will.
Mhm.
So, and it's the same thing with Lloyd Carr. Everybody think, well, you hate Lloyd Carr. No, I don't hate him. I mean, I respect him, you know, and that's just what it is. That's how I am. That's how I was brought up. So, I mean, if you do that, you show respect. It's like when I'm in the streets, people know me. They respect me. I give them respect. Nobody never came up to me, you know, wrong, saying we want to do this to you, do that to you. I mean, I'm talking about some real killers be like, what up, P?
Right.
So, you know, I'm easy.
Now, so I also want to go back to your first season, your rookie season. You saw action in 8 games. You saw action in 8 games and you were 4th on the team in special team tackles.
Right.
That speaks to your will. That speaks to your character.
I always say I'm a magnet to the ball.
Okay.
That's my whole thing whenever I play football. If somebody has the ball and you're running, I'm gonna go get you. And the one thing you can't teach with any kid or anything is effort.
Right.
Either you have it or you don't. And Coach Ginn taught me that my sophomore year in high school. He was like, you bull crapping. I used to hide behind this tree, and that's how I had my son. It's a long story. But he was like, you bull crapping. You're supposed to be a starter as a sophomore.
Right.
And I didn't, think about it. Yeah, it didn't click. So Phil Parker, University of Iowa, defensive coordinator, he's there now. He was like, we'll offer you a scholarship if, you take care of your business in school. And I ain't never think about going to school. I just want to play football to play football.
Right.
So he was like, we'll offer you a scholarship, even though they couldn't. So, he was just like, you get your grades up. So from that point on, my sophomore year, 3.0, 3.5, I stayed above the 3.0 until my senior year, my 4th quarter. I had a senioritis, whatever. I was good though.
Right.
And I just bust my butt, man. That's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? Everything that Coach Ginn ever taught us was just go hard or go home.
Effort-wise.
Yeah. So if we went to a football camp, like I did at Sports Illustrated, that's the reason why they say, well, coaches can't recruit kids now and when they had their football camps because of what we did. And I just say it's a blessing, man. I mean,
to go to the next season, you played all 16 games and led the team in special team tackle. So that speaks to, that speaks volumes to your character, to the effort, and to, who you are as a man.
right.
Real quick, we got any parting shots before we get out of here?
No, man, just glad to have you on the show, man. Good
Appreciate
meeting
it. Yes, sir.
you. Yes, sir.
Anything
Yeah,
else,
thanks
Patasha?
for coming out and hanging out with us.
No problem. We friends on IG now too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You want to give
She friends with a lot of dudes on that.
He's just jealous because I won't add him.
you want to talk about real quickly about what they got going on?
Yeah, man. This guy, my man Mike from New York. You know what I'm saying? He got these hoodies, partial hoodies that are going out, and it's got the block M and get your high school logo and your high school number on there, and he's doing big things, man. I mean, he got Braylon Edwards in it. I believe what's his name? Devin Hester.
Okay.
Courtney Finnegan. So it's a couple of guys, and some guys want them, and they trying to get their college logos on it as well.
Okay.
And we pushing it.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to Mars versus Venus. See you next week. And like I say all the time, when you're having fun, it gets laid early. Deuce.